Welcome to At Your Library. I'm your host, Kathleen Clifford. Today we are on location at the Groton Public Library's Tech Center. And joining us are two of our librarians, Jessa Franco and Emily Sheehan. Welcome.
Thank you.
So there's a reason why we're in the Tech Center today. And the reason is in November, the library received a grant entitled Libraries Ready to Code. And this came from the American Library Association and Google. And Jessa and Emily are going to explain to us what this grant means for the Groton Public Library.
All right. So Libraries Ready to Code is a grant that allows libraries to provide programming and events about coding and computational thinking. So the goal is to give libraries the funds that they need to get equipment or to get supplies that we would need to teach kids these 21st century skills surrounding technology, coding, and then kind of the thought processes behind those that build up into those grander ideas.
Nice. And knowing that a lot of the education systems around here are working to be STEM schools, this fits right in nicely with
it does. We found out that a lot of the schools actually have some of the same tools that we picked up, so there's some good collaboration opportunities.
That is excellent. And what grades are you looking to target?
So we've actually been working with 1st through 12th grade. So you can start a lot of these coding projects pretty young. You'll find that the computational thinking ideas that are in the video games and things that you do with even preschoolers build up into coding eventually. So you can start very young with this stuff and then build as they get older.
Nice. The grant is called Libraries Ready to Code. But what exactly does that mean for people that are not familiar with technology?
Fabulous question. So to be ready to code, there's this idea of computational thinking, which is the ability to break down an idea or a project or a challenge into small steps, and basically to think like a computer does. So we're taking computational thinking and we're taking the idea of coding, whether it's the actual languages or if we're using the block system such as Scratch, and basically teaching that to the kids. And in doing so, we really want to put an emphasis on youth voice. We want the teens and the kids to be involved in their own learning so that it doesn't necessarily feel like homework. It's fun. It's something that they can go home and do with their families, with their peers, and it doesn't seem so academic necessarily. By doing it here at the public library, we want it to be a fun skill that they can develop outside of school. We also have a big emphasis on design thinking and connected learning and family engagement. So we're kind of tackling this from a lot of different avenues, but the idea is just to get kids ready for these 21st century technologies that we have. A lot of people, the youth, they're so good at this, but they're going to come to a point where they need to learn how to make it themselves, or they're going to need learn how to use it effectively. And so that's kind of what we're going with. So they do know how to use the computer, they know how to use the iPad, but can they program it themselves? And then once they do, what can you do with that skill? It's been completely open.
Wow, to me, that is really mind-blowing to think that, starting at such a young age, but, we know children are sponges and we know technology is the way we're going. So, it sounds like a perfect match. And, when you think of the library, you don't necessarily think of something like this. And what made you apply for this grant? What made you as librarians, reach out for this?
So I work with the teenagers, and you see teens come in all the time and they love their technology. They love social media, they love gaming, and there's this big push through different movements in the education field for just getting teens to use it more effectively and efficiently, and to eventually just learn how to make on their own so that they're not just consumers, they actually create their own content. And so when this grant came across our emails, it was the perfect opportunity to take something that the youth of Groton are so passionate about and turn it into something that's both a learning opportunity and a skill that they'll use in their future, but something fun that they can kind of expand that interest a little bit more. And so I come from a basic tech background. I can use the tech the same way the teens do, but I don't have as much experience teaching it, which is why Emily was such a good partner for this.
Right. I teach all of the technology classes here at the library and do some children's story times. So I get it from all different angles. So this grant just really seemed to encompass all of that into one nice little package where we can introduce the kids to this computational thinking, this computer science aspect of life, and just have them expand on it. So it's really exciting.
It's absolutely fantastic, and I can't stress enough that here at the library, the staff is always looking to the future and looking to make sure that, you know, our children and adults have the skills they need through Emily's technology classes, through the children's story times, and through the teens. I mean, it seems like every age is covered. So let's see, what kind of programs have we offered so far?
So right now, this is a really cool project that we're doing with the grant. It's called Hacker Club and Hacker Club Junior. So on the first Saturday of the month, it started back in December, I want to say, the teens would meet and they would learn a new tech skill. So we started off with an unplugged activity where you learned computational thinking and the thought process behind coding without any technology at all. So the teens were given cream cheese and crackers, and they had to write out explicit instructions on how to get that cream cheese onto a cracker and into their mouth. And so then you had to follow it as if you were a robot, and if you didn't write the instructions properly, you didn't get your snack. So they got
interesting. I love that.
So they did that, and then they played a grid-based game where you had to move Batman around the grid, chasing the Joker. And so you had to write out the code. When does he turn? How many spaces does he move to get around roadblocks? So they again got into that thought process of, you know, can we make this faster? Can we, you know, take less commands? You know, how do we get him across this board? So it had a bit of a game aspect to it, but they still learned that basic skill. And so when they were done learning, they sat down and we wrote a lesson plan as a group that they would then teach the next Saturday to the kids. So that's Hacker Club Junior.
Hacker Club Junior.
So our teen volunteers join us. They've picked out activities. They've figured out what was most important from what they learned the previous week. And they then teach it to the kids and will help us teach it to the kids. So it's a volunteer opportunity for the teens. They earn 3 hours of volunteer work over the course of the month. But they're also learning a skill too, whether it's something they've done before or not. They're learning either the coding skill, or they're learning how to work with children, or what, you know, how you learn. How will kids learn? What will be best? How did you learn best based on what we had learned the previous week? So Hacker Club and Hacker Club Junior have gone over Unplugged. We've done coding with Code Combat. It's a very gamified way to learn different coding languages. So we did JavaScript, and they actually code their character. So they type in the commands with the proper syntax, and then their character acts it out, and you see if you can get through the dungeons and the different levels. And so they're learning JavaScript while they play this game, and they earn armor and weapons. And they've also worked with robots, and we're going to be working with MicroBits soon. So that's something we'll show later.
That's excellent. Do you want to talk about what's coming up?
Yes. We're very excited about what's coming up. So Hacker Club and Hacker Club Junior are kind of coming towards an end at the end of April. But in April, we are having our coding camp. So we're having a week-long app development camp. Any teens 5th grade and up who sign up will be able to make 2 apps by the end of the week that will be on their phones that they can take home and share with their families. It can be iOS or Android, and there is no coding experience required. We've actually found a really awesome couple of platforms where it's very similar to Scratch, where you plug the puzzle pieces together, and as long as you've got the right puzzle pieces and the right commands, your app will work. So by the end of that week, they should make 2 to 3 apps, and we're going to be having volunteers from various computer businesses in the area come in to kind of coach the kids, work through their problems as they encounter them with their programming. And then that same week, those same professionals will do a meet and greet with any high schoolers that are interested in the computer science field. They'll have the opportunity to find out what jobs are there in computers, what can you do with this passion, and how do you get there. So that will then build up into, we're taking Hacker Club on location in May to Westside. So any of the kids in that area can walk over and we can do all of those same coding activities there. And then over the summer, we're really excited about this. We are going to code our own music videos.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So we have got a lot going on, but it's all super fun.
It sounds phenomenal. We're going to take a break. And when we come back, I have a few more questions about the programs, and then I understand we're going to get a demonstration.
Yeah.
Excellent. We're going to take a quick break right now, but at your library, we'll be back in just a few moments.
Planning the right amount of food is hard. The Guestimator makes it easy. Just tell it who's coming and what's for dinner. Then it tells you how much to make. And yes, it even plans for leftovers. Try it at SaveTheFood.com.
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I brought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
Welcome back to At Your Library. If you were with us for the first half, you know we are on location at the Groton Public Library's Tech Center. And here with us are librarians Emily and Jessa, who are working on the grant for Libraries Ready to Code. Now, in the first half, we explained what it was about, and now we get to see the fun part. Emily's going to demonstrate some of the technology that we'll be using here at the library.
Absolutely. So the first demonstration that I have is an Ozobot. So this little guy here is actually a robot. And usually when we think of robots, we think of like moving arms and they can talk. Well, these little guys don't. On the bottom, they actually have little sensors. And the way that these little robots read code is through color. So we have 4 different colors here. We have black, blue, green, and red. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to draw a line with the black marker. And we're going to see what happens. So I'm going to turn them on. It's just a little button on the side.
So to understand, each color has a different purpose.
They do.
Okay.
They do. And there's actually a bunch of codes that these little robots can read. So if you do like a blue, black, blue, it will make him go faster.
Okay.
So if we just put him on the black line, you can see he just follows it.
Oh, and he stops right at the end.
And he stops right at the end. He doesn't turn around or do anything crazy. If I draw a red line, you'll notice, there he goes. All of his lights will turn red.
Oh, yeah.
And the same goes with all of the different colors.
Okay.
So there are various codes that you can do. Trying to think of one. Black, I think there's like a blue, a little dash of blue, and then black. Oops, I might have messed it up. But that's okay. Blue again. And then end with the black. And what he'll do is he will read those codes. We'll see if he can figure it out and do anything different. So it gave him a little bit of a boost at the end.
Oh, yes, and he turned blue.
And he turned blue, yes. So the nice thing is they can actually go like in a spiral. We start right over here. See, he'll just follow the line until the very end. Or not. Technology is always so fun because when it's on camera, it doesn't work properly.
Of course.
But that's okay.
Well, and it's a great learning opportunity for the kids, so when they hit these snags, they need to think about the problem solving and the critical thinking skills of why did he stop?
Right.
Is it because the line is too thin? Is it too thick? Can he not read it?
Exactly.
So these errors are always good.
Yes, we learn from our mistakes, which is great. So that's just a brief little introduction to the Ozobot. But what I'm really excited about is our newest toy. And these are just called little MicroBits, and I will give you one.
I'm going to move the
Oh,
Ozobots right out of the way for us. Oh,
there
look,
he
he
goes.
started up again.
Yeah, he just had a
Okay.
hiccup.
Now, what do we call this?
So this is a microbit, and these are really
Okay.
big overseas in the UK, and that's actually kind of how we found them. I think I read an article in School Library Journal about how libraries were incorporating these into their lesson plans and programming. And really, the way that they work is you plug it into the computer and you put together blocks, much like Scratch works. They're little blocks with command, and you just put them together, and it tells this thing what to do. So I have already created a code and downloaded it straight onto the MicroBit itself.
Okay.
Now, the nice thing about the MicroBit is it does have an attached battery pack, so it has a power source. But also, it will react to shaking. It will react to button pressing. So what I have created is a rock, paper, scissors game.
No.
So yes, so we are going to go ahead. You can hold the battery pack.
Okay.
And hold your MicroBit. And we're going to do rock, paper, scissors. Are you ready?
I guess. Wait, do I do it normally?
Yep. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. So we both got paper.
Okay.
All right. So
is that because of something I did that made me do paper? It just randomly chose that.
Completely random.
Oh, okay. I understand.
So to reset it, you're just going to hit the little A button over on the left side.
Okay.
And that completely clears it. And let's try it again.
Okay.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. I got a rock. And you got scissors.
So I lose.
Rock, you lose. That's
I
okay.
lose. Okay.
All right. That's
Wow.
2 out of 3.
So you programmed it to do this.
It did. Isn't that cool? So it has a bunch of LED lights right in there that you program.
Nice. All right, I'm feeling positive.
All right. Rock, paper, scissors. Paper covers rock.
Do you have rock?
I have rock.
Yay, I won. So you can do that, and the kids can learn how to do that.
Absolutely. So these things do a lot of different stuff. Not only do they react to the buttons, and they have the LED lights, but it will react to the shaking. Depending on how fast you're moving, it will react to that as well. You can also hook up little alligator clips so you can connect other tech to these.
Wow.
So they do a lot. And as a matter of fact, you can have it, these little lights make letters, so it will look like words are scrolling by. So you could say, hello, Kathleen.
Wow, this is incredible.
It's really kind of cool.
And have you used these in the Hacker Club, or are you planning to use them?
Yet.
Okay.
This is coming up this Saturday. We're going to introduce it to the teens and see what they can do.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah, lots of fun.
Excellent. Now, question for you. Is it too late for people to join Hacker Club?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. There's no registration, so it's completely open.
Oh, it's a walk-in.
It's a walk-in.
Okay.
Yep. So the first Saturday of the month at 2 o'clock is for the teens.
Okay.
And then the
6th grade to 12?
Yep.
Okay.
And then the second Saturday of the month is for the juniors, the Hacker juniors. So that is 1st through 5th grade, right?
All right, so if anybody out there is interested in coming in and seeing our technology during the Hacker Clubs, you can call the library if you don't know exactly when it is, and or just stop by. Excellent. Now, Jessa is going to show us something that is coming up in April and that we're very excited about.
So as we mentioned, we're doing an app development camp in April. And so I have a tablet here, and I've got it preloaded up with the app that I coded. So basically what's going to happen is when I shake the tablet, it's going to give me one of the many games that we have here in the Teenscape. So if you're bored and you don't know what you want to play, you just...
Naruto, NBA 2K16, UFC.
And it just tells you what game you should play. So with this, we had to put in the images, we had to code it to tell it when it gets shaken, what it's supposed to say, give it all of its options, and this is kind of what they like to call a Magic 8-Ball app. So this is one of the things that they'll make. You can make it for iOS or Android.
Okay.
And then our goal is to move from this into a gaming app, and then eventually they'll get the chance to move off of what we're teaching them and create something original of their own. So once they've figured out games and they've figured out lists, they can create something completely original or just modify what they've already done. So the goal is 2 apps, at minimum 3 apps by the end of the week.
Excellent. Now, so this was created probably because you'd have, say, 8 kids in the teen room and they couldn't decide which game to play.
Yeah.
So they left it up to the technology of the app. So you took a need, a problem that needed to be solved, and you solved it.
Exactly, and that's what we're hoping they'll do with their app skills once we get there.
Now, that's coming up in April.
Yes.
When is it happening, first of all?
So it's going to be the week of spring break for the Groton Public School System.
Okay.
Which, if I remember correctly, is the 16th through the 21st.
That's correct.
Yes. So it's going to be from 2 to 4 in the afternoon. And again, it's that long because we have so much to learn and there's so much opportunity with these programming apps. But it is going to be required registration. One of the things that we've been able to purchase with these grants is this technology, and we're hoping to have more computers by that time so that we'll have a larger class. But there are a limited number of computers here, so we definitely want to have people register for this.
And when will registration open for that?
April 1st.
April 1st. So on April 1st, call or go online to the library's website and register for the camp. What is the official title?
I think we've just been calling it App Development Camp.
Okay, so App
Coder
Development Camp. And what grades will that be allowed?
5th through 12th grade.
Okay, 5th through 12th, and it'll be 2 to 4 every day of the week?
Every day of the week.
Excellent. So we have a lot more coming up with technology after April vacation, but we're going to wait till summer reading comes up to dig into that. But for now, stop by the library for Hacker Club, Junior Hacker Club, or get signed up for our vacation camp. This has been At Your Library. Thank you so much for checking in.